welcome to day 4 of our January challenge, working on Karen Marshall's arrangements of Sky Music. And much like yesterday's section was based on the tune of day 1, today's section is going to be based on the tune of day 2, but obviously with a little bit of variation and specifically in what the left hand's doing as well. So if I play you today's section. And at that point, it's going to repeat back to the very beginning. Okay, so let's work through on that. So in the right hand, we've got our finger 2 on the B and our thumb up on the D. And then we swap finger 2 onto the D, thumb on the E, and then we're going to reach down to the G. I did it there with a finger 3. You might also like to do a finger 4. Personally, 3 is fine. Come off on that. Then we're going to put 3 on the A, 2 on the B, thumb up on the D. We play A, B, and then we put the B back on as a grace note leading up to the D. Okay, so we just put that little section together. 3 and 4 and. Okay, and that will lead on. And make sure the grace note's before the beat so that the D there lands on the beginning of the beat of the next bar. So our left hand then is on an octave with the 5th, so a B and a B, and finger 2 is on the F sharp in the middle there. And if you're looking at the music, you'll notice we have the squiggly mark that means to roll the chord, but with an arrowhead at the bottom pointing downwards. So it's not a roll heading up, it's a roll going down. Okay, and just like any roll, it's really important that it's the last note that lands on the beat. Okay, so we go down there, then we're jumping up for a D, and down for a G. You might just do that with finger 2 like I did there, or you might try and place 1 and 3. Depends how you feel as you're playing it and what you can get to in time without holding up the piece. Okay, there's some timing there as well that we need to be aware of, and that's easier to deal with putting it together. So if I put this together, but I'll talk through it. So we start together, then the D comes in your left hand before the second D in the top hand. Then the top hand, then the top hand, then the G comes in before the G in the top hand. Okay, that was just the placement, that wasn't the timing. So let's put the timing in now. 3 and 4 and. So it's like it's anticipating the second D and that G. It comes exactly halfway between those two notes. One more time. 3 and 4 and. Then our right hand carries on as we've already done. Okay, and carrying on from that, we come off on that D, go on to a finger 3 on the E, finger 2 on the F, thumb on the G, so we've got 3 in a row. And you're going to play all of those 3 and then go straight back on, thumb back on the same note with a G, and you're going to do all 4, and the thumb is a grace note. Okay, so if we just go from, this is the upbeat to bar 15. So A, B, B, D. And then 3 in a row. Okay, putting that with the left hand. The left hand doesn't come in until we've landed on that D there. Left hand has got 4 notes in a row from D just above middle C, 2 on the C, 3 on the B, 4 on the A, just 4 in a row. And it's just crotchet beats there. Okay, and do try and come off at that top there. Don't be tempted to try and get everything else back on. Just creates a bit more lift and a bit more space in what you're doing there. Okay, so let's just put those 2 bars together from the beginning of today's section, bar 14. 3 and 4 and. The wrong way around there. I did the right before the left. Got to watch not to do that. Let's try again. 3 and 4 and. Then the next part, the right hand is very similar. But this time we're going to land down on an A, and you might notice that I did a grace note as well. So B, D is 2-1, D and E 2-1, thumb back on that E and third finger down to the A. Okay, the left hand there is identical to the beginning of today's part. So we've got another B octave with the F in the middle and a roll going down, so it's the lowest note, and then jump up to a D. Okay, and it's the same timing there, but this time we haven't got to jump and add another one in. Okay, so if I just start straight on bar 16, 3 and 4 and. Okay, and then having played that A up there, it's answered but in quite a leisurely time by an A in the left hand. Okay, it's a whole quaver later. A whole 8th note later. So putting that bar together, bar 16, 3 and 4 and. Okay, so give yourself the space. You'll be tempted, I think, to play that A down there a bit soon, so give it the space to come in. Then the right hand carries on. Thumb on the B, finger 2 on the G, third finger on the E. Okay, so we've got a triad shape, but we're starting on our thumb. We've got a dotted rhythm here, and then we're going to put, you've already got the 3 on, we're going to add 2 and 1 onto the F and G, so you've got 3 in a row. And then personally I put a finger 4 down here and reach the octave up. But when we learnt this pattern on day 2, we did it with a finger 3, so you could go and jump, or 3 and reach, or and put finger 4 on and jump and reach. It's an octave jump from that D to the next D up. And then 4 in a row, but not quite. Put 2 on. Let me think. Probably is easiest to put 4 on in a row at this point. So D, C, B and A. You play the D, C. Throw those back on and put them in as grace notes. Okay, I think that's probably the easiest way to do that, because then you're secure, ready with the 3 and 4 that's coming on. And if for any reason you miss the grace notes, well, your notes are there from the actual melody there. So I'm just going to do the upbeat into bar 17 here. And really let those grace notes be quick and throw away, because it's the B that needs to land on the beat there. Okay, now in the music I've got written here, that is classed as a first time bar, but it's not really. Actually what's going to happen is we then repeat back, right back to what we did in day 1. So straight into the first full bar at the top, and then you play it all the way through again, including that bar. And then when you finish that bar for the second time, go into what's marked up here as second time bar. Okay, so let's put the left hand in with that, going straight into bar 17. We've got a C octave, and it's the thumb that's starting, and it's quite a fast move. And then we just reach up, it's tied down there, so you don't have to repeat that low C. Reach up to D, just above middle C, and again, getting ready to come back to a G octave for the top of the page. Okay, and it's important to practice the transition from there back to the beginning of the page, so that you don't have a big pause as you go, oh, where am I meant to be? Oh yes, I'm there. That your hand is just automatically leading from the last 2 notes back to where it's going next, which is, like I say, back to the top of the page there. Okay, so let's put those together. So the left hand is the C octave, and then it's going to jump up for these 2 Ds. I'm going from the upbeat into bar 17, which is just in the right hand, 2 and 3 and. That's me back to the beginning. Okay, so let's put all of that together. So I'm starting now back at the beginning of today's session, which is bar 14. Left hand's on the B octave with the F sharp, right hand's on B, and D, either side of the red up there. And this is where the left hand jumps in with these notes just before it's played up here. So we've got the roll going down, 3 and 4 and. Back to the beginning. And the thing when you go back to the beginning is to be careful, because in this last bar written on the page there, you've just done a very quick jump down there with the C octave. And we go back to the beginning and we're back to still an octave shape, but it's quaver to quaver. It's actually quite steady. So try not to rush that when you go back in on there, okay? So then you would play the whole thing all the way through again, and then let's say that we're landing on today's section, but for the second time through. So I'm going to play that now, and I'll play the 4 bars that we've worked on today going into the last bar written on the page. Okay, so starting at bar 14, but having repeated the whole thing, 3 and 4 and.